what's interesting is like, obviously there's a lot of anxiety and tough stuff going on. Like you're talking about a lot of the struggles of like just basic housing, you know, and I think of Maslow's triangle of needs. I think that that's the bottom rung is you need to feel like safe and home.
Yeah. And the thing is, there was a time where, now actually circling back to the whole house situation, where I was sat down, because at this point in time, obviously, like the whole idea of, look, you need to find your place soon. And I was feeling the tension already because now I'm thinking back to the time of my own brother kind of making me feel like a burden in his own house. And something snapped in me because one day this was now, I think, in the month of March, because I had told my roommate at the time, like, yo, just give me until Feb and I'll probably be out of your hair. But literally, I got so annoyed because I had found a place. The agent was like, hey, okay, cool. We got your application. We'll process it soon. Then 3 months into the month of March, they're like, we processed the other two. We've denied them, but yours is the last one standing. I'll let you know. And at this time, I'd been waiting. I think it was only on like the 11th of March or some stuff like that, where I get a message or an email. And this is after like 5 different follow-ups within like a 2-week period. And the lady was like, yeah, we're denying your application. The landlord says, nah. So unfortunately, no, you don't get the place. So that was like a crushing blow for me because I was like, I'm confident I finally got a place, and then being told, yeah, no, never mind, you don't have it anymore. So that sucked because now I kind of, again, felt like I was back to square one, and now I need to move out of this place because already like I can tell like I'm not welcome anymore. And I get a message, I think it was like a couple days later, and this is now when I had kind of overheard him and the girlfriend arguing. So something in my head sort of told me, it's either she's telling him to get rid of me, or again, something is happening and he's just like, yo, he just wants me out. So it was maybe an overthinking scenario, but a part of me just snapped and I was just like, fuck it, I'm just going to move out and I'll find my way through. So I sent him a message. I'm like, it's fine. I'm moving out. He's like, oh, did you find a place? I'm like, nope, but I'll make a plan. And in that week, I think it was around the middle of March, I just moved into an Airbnb, and then I decided a majority of my stuff always going to get moved into storage. So I paid for my storage, and then I got into an Airbnb, and I had suitcase, my laptop bag, and then a separate bag for like my toiletries and stuff. And that was me for about a month almost. So I had no idea of what was going to happen, where I was going to go. And the problem is my mom stays in Ireland, and she was like, hey, if you need a place to stay, you can come stay by me. But I couldn't because I'd literally recently signed off on a deal with a brand where they needed me to appear in person to shoot content with them for the next 2 months.
And she's saying Ireland like the UK, Ireland kind of, okay, damn.
So I now can't even leave Cape Town because I need to be shooting content. So I'm now stuck because it's like, I wouldn't mind going just to reset and gather myself and all of that. But right now I can't leave. So I need to find a way to find my footing back here. And then there was also the thoughts of doubt of like, do I stay in Cape Town anymore? Like, is this where I really need to be? Should I just go back to Joburg? But even if I do go back, like, it doesn't seem like there's a way for me back anymore because my dad's also not even in Joburg anymore. So what's the plan? Like, how do I figure my life out? So there was a point of just pure depression that I was back into because I've suffered with a lot of anxiety and depression over the years, but it's always come in waves and batches where there's points where whenever I'm in my depression phase, I don't really look after myself. So I don't properly eat, I don't properly bath, or just like do any self-care whatsoever. And I was slowly getting back into that. On top of that as well, I started getting back into sort of a bad habit that I have where I just don't even look to cook or whatever, just take out. And that's the only thing that I can just sort of eat my sorrows away and feel sorry for myself. So that happened for like the first 2 weeks. And actually, even in the first week, I didn't want to tell anyone. I just wanted to figure out my life because, again, it goes back to my story with my brother and how I've lived my life, where I've always kind of felt like a bit of a burden for people that I've been around. Because there was even a point where I mentioned that I moved out of my brother's house, but I ended up moving into my aunt's house, who was supposed to keep me for like 2 weeks. And then I was supposed to move out to stay with my mom, who's outside of the country. But even again, she also started making me feel like, yo, like you need to start doing a bit more around here and all of that stuff. So it even felt like even with family, I didn't feel at home. So it started feeling like shit, and I was like, you know what, I don't want to tell anyone. I'm just going to figure this thing on all on my own. The only people that knew my situation was my parents. But then I was just like, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to tell one of my homies. He's my lawyer. And he's one of my best friends. And I was like, yo, dude, I don't want to tell you this, but I know there's a point where you told me, like, if there's a situation that you're in, I should just be honest and tell you. And I wasn't even doing it to ask for help. I just kind of wanted a bit of an outlet because I didn't have any way to, like, say this to anyone. And yeah, I just told him, I was like, yeah, dude, this is my situation, but I'm not saying this because I want help from you. I just wanted to be able to speak about it because it's kind of been eating me up and stuff. And then he was like, nah, fuck this shit, dude. Where are you? Let me try to get this sorted for you. And he actually allowed me to basically sleep at his place for like the first week. So at least saved a bit of money. And then he waited for me to get to my next Airbnb, set me up. And then for like a week straight, he was just like, okay, cool. I'm going to try and get you out of the house. You know, introduced me to his friend group. There's a day we all went out, just chilled to have a good time, get my mind off of things. Because, yeah, there was a point where I almost gave into the thoughts that I had, where it felt like, this kind of is it. Like, I don't want to go forward. Like, why am I always getting the short end of the stick? Because I thought about it and I'd counted how many times I have moved in my lifetime, and I have moved more than 23 times in my life, right? So I've never had something to call home, almost, right? There's always a difference between a house and a home. You know, a house is like, you can just set your stuff down, cool, you get to sleep and all that. But a home is where you feel like you can unwind, you feel safe, you feel like this is where I can be my true self, right? But I haven't really felt like that in the longest time. And that's the only thing I'm chasing. And it felt so unfair because it's like, why can't I get that? Why can't I just have just this little thing in life where I can just feel safe in a home? And I think I had gone to like 3 different mental breakdowns within that like point in period, because it's like, dude, it's like not that much that I'm asking for. It's not like I'm saying I want $1 million in life, or I just want a home where I can just be happy. Even if I'm struggling with debt, or I'm struggling with this or that, at least I have a home where I can figure things out. Now I'm in an Airbnb and I don't have anything to figure it out, right? And now I had just got a new casting gig that's basically allowed me to get experience of casting basically the highest stage of competitive gameplay. Basically, I'm casting the best teams in the Chinese region, but I don't have a home.
What game is this?
For Valorant.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I'm basically casting the VCT China region, and I don't even have a home to celebrate this. And I remember I had recently won the Red Bull Locked In. So Red Bull Locked In was an event, it was for Apex Legends, and it was basically 4 team captains, and we all have teams of 30. And it was basically a gauntlet and a LAN to see who would obviously be the captain that can lead their team to victory. And it was very ironic because my team was the underdog that quite literally went from the lowest stage. We started the day out in 4th place and we ended up winning the entire competition. And it was great. It was euphoric. Then the very next week, it was just straight into depression, because now I got a trophy and all of that got packed up into storage because I didn't even get to enjoy it for like a week. And then I ended up moving into my Airbnb. So life kind of hit rock bottom and I kind of didn't know what to figure out. What was the next step? And yeah, I was kind of literally at the point of just giving up because it didn't seem like there was any way forward. You know, I wasn't able to get any of the places that I'm applying for. I think I probably spent like almost like $2,000 like on applications and moving up and down to get to places because I also don't even have a car. And that was even more difficult. But at least when I sort of let my friend know what the situation was, then he was also kind of trying to help me move around, get to places and all of that. But it still felt like at the back of my mind, you're being a burden to him. Stop it. Like, try to figure out your own life. But he kind of kept on reassuring me that, because he's also known that I've kind of struggled with reaching out to people and asking for help. Because my biggest thing is I've always just wanted to be independent as much as possible. I don't want to ask people for help. I'd much rather be the one to constantly give out that help as opposed to ask for it. So I'd much rather ask for help once and help people 50 times than to be helped 50 times and ask for help and give out help once. Because my thing is I'd much rather be the one to be there for other people as opposed to be the vulnerable person, because it's always felt like I've been the vulnerable one in my life and I don't want to be in that position. So that's something I was kind of like trying to run away from, which ultimately life was just like, here it is, deal with it. And yeah, and then that was kind of like the entirety of March was just like me bouncing between Airbnbs, and then a bit into April. And then at some point, luck somehow struck. I think I don't even know what status I put out, but I literally, the status I put out was just gotta keep trying. Because at that point in time, there was a place where I was confident. I was happy that I was going to get this place. The lady was even backing me as well and, was confident. But then the landlord was just like, no, I don't believe he's going to cover the rent. So I'm going to say no, and I'm going to deny him. And this was, I think, a few days into April. And the move-in day was the 1st of April. And I just instantly got denied. And again, crashed back to the bottom, and I didn't know what to do, how to feel, because I was like, this was supposed to be the one, this was supposed to be it. And again, I've lost out, I've paid the application fees, it's all gone down the drain, and it's not going to work anymore. And I wanted to give up, but then a part of me was just like, fuck it, let's just get back up and try again, because I don't know how I'm going to get this sorted, but let's figure it out. Then I put on my status, I'm like, you know what, just got to keep trying. Then Adrian responded to me, he's like, yo, dude, what's going on? And then I explained the entire story. I'm like, yo, dude, listen, I'm kind of homeless right now. I've been staying in Airbnbs and I'm still trying to figure out where I can stay. And then he's like, yo, we do have an open bedroom, which you obviously turned into the studio. And you guys are obviously discussing what were the plans going forward. And then it's like, okay, you know what? You can at least stay here for the meantime, at least. And that was literally my saving grace. Like, I don't even know what would have happened if I didn't get that at that point, because it literally looked like I was done for. So yeah, that's pretty much like my entirety of March and how life has just been kind of up and down and crazy.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed that clip from the interview of Argu. If you want to come onto the podcast, remember, all are welcome. Just fill in the form in the description and we'll see if we can have you on. If you want to watch the full podcast, click on the link here. If you want to watch anything else from the channel, click on the link here. Thanks for watching, guys.